Hi, Matt from Modern Samurai here again, and thanks for taking a look at this video. So what we're going to be looking at today is the 10 best traditional martial arts techniques for self-defense. Now, again, guys, this isn't a comprehensive list. There are plenty of other techniques and plenty of other systems. So I'm just choosing a few of the basic ones that can be very effective very quickly. All right, so guys, I don't claim to be an expert. So before anybody starts coming back and saying, well, you know, you're not an expert in this, and this, I appreciate that and I understand that. What I am saying is that all of these things can be utilized in a self-defense scenario, and having been on the doors for many years, having worked in security for many years, having been around a lot of outside sort of confrontation and violence, I have found that these kind of movements are some of the ones that work best for that environment. So guys, we're going to go through the top 10. We're going to start at number 1 and work down. So we're not saying number 1 as in how important something is. That's just the numbers that they're going in. So bear with us, join in, have a try and enjoy it. All right, number 1 on our list then is we're going to take a look at an Aikido movement, and essentially, for want of a better word, it's a clothesline. So what I'm actually doing is connecting with my forearm. So what we're going to do is we're going to show it and then we're going to break it down a little bit, okay? Now, I'm working off a punch at this particular point, so what's going to happen here is Steve is just going to throw a front hand jab. Now, again, when we're talking about training for reality, so on and so forth, we don't want to always have the same punch coming at you, what have you, but because we're showing a specific technique, I'm going to show a specific setup so that we can get an understanding of how this works, okay? Right, so from here, look, Steve throws his punch, here, boom, and what I'm doing, look, is just coming in and taking him down. So if we do that once more, please, my friend. So here, look, we got punch here, boom, and what I'm doing is just bringing him down and over. Now, obviously, when you're doing this kind of thing and you're practicing it, you've got to be a little bit careful, and I'm staying away purposely from his teeth and so on and so forth, because I don't want to create any actual injuries while we're doing this. Now, how does this work? Pretty straightforward thing, right? Now, as he throws out that lead hand, what I'm actually doing, if you just throw that out, I'm just covering and parrying. So if we think about a boxer's parry here, okay, or if we think about any kind of, you know, circular controls, this kind of thing. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing the hand past and down. So as he comes again, I'm coming here and I'm pushing it down. Okay, now, as I push this hand down, it creates a line for me here. And so what I'm doing now is stepping through, bringing my energy right through at this point and connecting here, look, and bringing him down like that. Now, again, little point on this, if we come once more, I'll do it slow. So a little point on this is now when I come into this, what I'm actually looking to do here is chop in and chop down. So I'm coming, boom, here, look, boom. Okay, what I'm trying to do is create that, knock him down off his feet. Right, so that's number 1. All right, number 2 on our list then is boxing. And what we're going to look at with this is what they call a liver shot. So it's a body shot. Now, obviously, there are loads of really good strikes in boxing that we could look at, but we're going to take this one specifically, okay? And obviously, it's also in other sports and other systems, but we're taking it from boxing because these guys, they really know how to throw these punches in. So, Steve, I can borrow you for a moment. So the first thing we're going to look at then is actually where the liver is. So the liver is basically on the right-hand side of the body. Where are you going? There you go. Here. Okay, it's in this area here. And so that's where we're aiming. All right, now, basically what happens with the liver is it sucks up all the toxins and everything in the body. It's a very big organ. And so what we're looking to do with that is connect with it. A worst case scenario for him is that we rupture it and it actually splits. More likely is that we shake it and we create this like a sponge effect, if you will. So what happens is it will push in one way and it will press out in another, and it will also start to chuck out all the horrible poisons into the bloodstream. Okay, so from here we're just going to throw with a body shot. Now again, there's variations on how I can do this, but we're just going to stick quite basic. So all I'm going to do is step slightly out and then I'm going to rotate in, bam, here. Okay, so that motion, so step slightly out and then boom, rotate in. So make sure that we turn and we're throwing the hips into the shot here, keeping this hand up. Once more, look, and then from here, look, rotate in. Boom, here. Okay, so that's a basic liver shot to the body there. It's a really strong shot and it will stop people in their tracks. Right, number 3 in our list then is Taekwondo. And the technique we're going to take from that is a turning side kick. Now, one of the reasons that I'm looking at this technique specifically is because it's incredibly powerful. It can do an awful lot of damage. So when people say, oh, you shouldn't be turning your back when it comes to self-defense stuff, I'm totally agreeing with that, and I'm not suggesting that you should. However, if you find yourself in a turning motion, which is entirely likely, you swung and missed a punch, or that's just where your energy's going, what have you, it's a good way to put that to use. And you can also do it on purpose to gather momentum and speed. All right, so if I show you what we're looking at here, so from this position, here, look, what I'm doing is I'm stepping across my lead leg, and I'm gonna literally throw a hook as a way to disguise my movement. And then as I step across here, look, I lift this leg, boom, and I kick back. All right, so if we go once more, look, so from here, step, and kick back. All right, so turning side kick, when you do this, guys, we're trying to connect with the heel, driving that heel in, okay? All right, so number 4 in our list then is karate. And the technique we're going to take from karate is a front kick. Now, this is a very strong, powerful kick. So we're going to go from stance and I'm going to come off the back leg. And what I'm looking to do with this is to come into the person's midsection. You can target other areas, but for now, we're just going to come midsection. All right, and when we're looking at self-defense, this is a very, very good technique to use. During my time working the doors, I have actually implemented this on more than one occasion. Right, so from here, just from our stance here, now what I'm doing here is I'm looking to connect and I'm just knee up, boom, here. That's all I'm doing. So once more, so here, okay? So the knee comes up, I extend the leg out, and we kick through. Now I'm hitting with the ball of the foot on this. So if I can just take this off for a minute there, Steve. All right, cool, just throw it down. Now, little tip on this, guys. When you're looking to kick with this, okay, we don't want to be going into the muscle wall. We don't want to go into the central mass here because everyone's got that exactly that muscle wall. So I want to come slightly off here. And when I kick, I want to push in. So what I'm doing is I'm driving my hip through into the shot here. So I'm not going to kick this hard, but I want to show you what I mean, okay? So I come slightly off center and I dig in with the hip here. So I'm looking to push forward. So once more, I'll do it slow. So I'm connecting and pushing through here. All right, so karate front kick. Okay, number 5 on our list then is Muay Thai. And incredibly dangerous sport, incredibly hard discipline to focus on, and they're very well renowned for having really strong kicks. So the one that we're going to look at in this is the low Thai kick, or the low roundhouse. All right, now when we're kicking with this shot, there's a couple of very specific things that we want to look at. All right, so Steve, if I can just bring you around here for a moment. And if you take your stance, this leg forward here. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm looking to connect here. So if we look at this button line here, if we're looking for this, that's a good indicator. So I'm trying to go into the nerve bundle in the muscle mass here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with my shin. So my lead leg steps across and I bring the leg around, right here. Boom, like this. Now, don't turn your leg in. Try and keep your knee slightly outwards. If you turn and if you collapse your shape, that's even worse. All right, so I'm not actually kicking at the moment, so just stay where you are. So here, look, boom. And I'm looking to bring my body across, boom, here. Now, right and the wrong way on this, guys. I'm going to do it with just no real power, but just technique. Okay, I'm going to do it slightly wrong, and then I'm going to do it hopefully a bit better. And I want you to see where the difference is, okay? Right, so here, look. So I'm not going to hit with any power, and I'm going to come at slightly the wrong angle on purpose, right? So here, look. All right, so that's not overly comfortable, but it's not the end of the world, is it? But there's no real power in that, okay? Now, a little bit more technique, okay? Here, look. Okay, do we feel that?
Yeah, feeling it.
Okay, right, so where we place it, how we place it, has a big effect on the outcome. Now, when we're looking at self-defense, if I can chop down that tree, if I can take those legs out from under him, he's going to be far less inclined to want to fight with me. Right, so let's do 1 or 2 on the pad. Okay, so if I can give you the pad there, my friend. That's it. Now, again, I'm not doing these full tilt because Steve isn't particularly used to these kind of things and they're not that pleasant, all right? So from here, look, step through, throw the kick, whip the hips round. So, okay. You all right? That's it, sideways on here. So here, look. Okay. Now, as you can see with that, Steve's struggling through the pad and I'm not kicking that with any real force. But straight away, you can see how it's affecting his shape. So if you just give me the pad again a moment. All right, now I'm not going to kick, I'm just going to show. All right, now from here, I can look to just come straight in. So if we're here and we're in this conversational range and I want to look to strike, I can just power boom in from here. Okay, I can step out and around and I can here, boom, look and take the legs clean out from under him. So there's a number of ways that I can make this effective in a self-defense situation. All right, number 6 in our list then is Jeet Do or Wing Chun, and what we're looking at here is trapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use traps to set up strikes. Now, the idea of this is that I am controlling the opponent's hands and creating a pathway for strikes of my own. So if I just show you a couple of little examples of this. So if Steve takes some kind of fighting stance there, now what I can do here is I can use it to control this lead hand. If we think about barriers being between me and the target, I can literally use up here, look, see, and look to control and open out, boom, areas for striking. So I can come here like this, I can come boom and open this way, all right? We can look to come at this in a number of different ways. So I can look to open him up, look, and create shots and openings to come in and strike towards him. Now, I can use it long range, as we've just done there, so once more. So I can be long range, no, you're right with that for a minute. I can be long range on this, and I can use it just to literally to trap and strike, or I can come in short range, so what I can do, look, I can move in and look to control his arms and posture like this. Now, from here, look, now I can use that then to open up strikes again. So there's lots of different variations on how trapping can be applied. But for us, within the self-defense environment, what I'm looking at here is just opening up an opportunity to get a good, clean shot in. So number 7 then is BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Again, this particular technique is in a lot of different types of martial arts, but we're just going to use BJJ as an example of this. So what we're looking at with this one is what we call a rear naked choke. So if you've done any MMA, if you've watched any kind of sport like that, you'll quite often see this particular technique being used. So what we're going to do is we're going to show it first. We're going to break it down just a little bit, and then we'll show you 1 or 2 little variations on this. So Steve, if I can borrow you, my friend, if you just want to come forward here, there we go. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect on the blood here, either side of the head. All right, so the easiest way for me to achieve that is to have my elbow in line with his nose. So I come up, I wrap, and I come here. Now, my other arm now comes up and I grab my own bicep. Now from that position, this hand's out, comes up, it comes behind the head here, and I squeeze everything in tight together. Now I'm not actually putting this choke on for the moment. I just want to show you the positioning on this. Now, if you're going to practice this, guys, make sure that you've got people that are there to monitor it. Make sure you're with proper instructors that know what they're doing. Don't just try this for a laugh with your mates because it's dangerous, okay? So here, look, wrap, arm, control. Now, Steve's going to tap. I'm just going to put it on slightly. So I'm just going to start to apply pressure. And there we go. So, rear naked choke. So if you just come back over this way a minute. So when we're applying this, look, arm comes around, you grab your own bicep here, this comes up behind the head, and what you're doing is you push your head in tight here and you push down here, squeeze in here. So you've got this motion. Okay, so that's the basic rear naked choke premise. Now you can use that from ground, you can use that from stood up. There are a number of different variations on the way that you can apply this, okay, but that is basically a rear naked choke. All right, number 8 in our list then is Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. And again, what we're going to look at here is we're just going to look at some wrist manipulation. So this is a bit of work on the joints. And when we're looking at self-defense kind of stuff, now this can actually be really useful depending on the level of severity that we need to go to, but also it can be a great way to control aggressors. Not everybody needs knocking out, if we remember that. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to show one particular wrist lock, and we're just going to work on that one, but bear in mind there are like many different variations, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to start from a grab. So if Steve just basically grabs hold of me here, okay, now my position on this, okay, is I want to basically give him something to think about while I come into this movement. All right, so what I'm not doing is just literally fumbling around at the hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect, boom, here, just as a basic setup, okay? And then I'm going to come to the hands. So this could be an eye rake, this could be just a slap, this could be a full-on power slap, all right? So I'm coming past here, and then I'm controlling on the hand. So I want to boom here, and I'm grabbing on the wrist here. Now from here, I pivot my entire body. Thumbs on the knuckles. Now, if you look at what's happened to his shape, just a little bit of pressure, and we get movement. Okay, so if we come back up a minute, Steve. So basically what I'm doing here, guys, okay, is I'm connecting here and I'm turning here. Now, just to show what I'm doing here, if I just use two fingers, so I'm going to use my index finger here and my thumb, I'm going to put my thumb on the little finger knuckle, and now I'm just going to leverage with that. See, he's a big guy. He's not a small guy, look. And look what I'm getting movement. Now, if I add on to that and I bring both hands together, and now what I'm going to do is take him to the floor. Now, when I move on this, I'll show you what I mean, the differences between big and small movement. So here, look, I'm just going to leverage, look, and we come straight down. Okay? Now, if I want to make this big, then I can make circular motions, and I can come with these big motions here. But if we're talking about a self-defense scenario, I don't want him having all that space. I don't want all that movement. So as soon as I come into this lock position, I want to keep him tight to my body, and my angle is boom, straight down here. Boom. See? So what I'm looking to do is not give him the opportunity to ride the pressure. Okay, now, if we look at that, if we come around this way, please, Steve. So if we look at this, and we look at this as a basic knife defense, now again, we've got to be careful that I don't want to encourage people to think about trying to defend knives without proper understanding of it, and even then, really high risk thing to do. But it's just to give you an idea of the principle. So again here, if I give Steve the knife here, and Steve is basically coming with a midsection strike, now what I can do here is I can look to come big, or I can look to come small. And what I want to do is I want to come small. So as we're here, look, we're in this position. As he goes to thrust out here, look, boom, I'm just dropping and containing here. Now, some points, elbow, elbow. The reason for that is pretty here, look, see, I can control him just there. All right, now this hand comes to join here. Okay, then we pivot small, remember? So if we do this one smaller, so here, control, pivot small, boom, control him here. All right, cool. So Japanese wrist locks. All right, number 9 then is pugilism. And so why is that different to boxing? Well, obviously boxing involves gloves, wraps, and all the rest of it. Pugilism predates the Marquess of Queensberry rules, and it is basically a non-glove striking system. And what's interesting about it is the fact that they deliver quite a lot of their strikes from different setups, from different positionings. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on this. However, one of the things I do like about it is the fact that over the years, you know, I've done quite a bit of striking without gloves on and things with regards to, you know, working in security, so on and so forth. And I do find that it's slightly different in the way that you connect. So from here, look, all we're going to do is I'm just going to be throwing a hooking punch, but I'm hooking to the jawline, all right? Now, we've talked about, you know, how to knock somebody out in previous videos, so on and so forth, so go back to those if you want to have a look at that. But what I'm actually looking at here is just the movement itself, okay? And so what I'm doing from our position here, now, if we've got a guy and he's in some kind of defensive fighting stance, now what I'm looking to do is slightly angle what I'm doing here. So I want to come up and slightly downwards. Boom, here. So what I'm trying to do is clear this arm and this shoulder area. boom, this position, and I strike here, all right? So this is where it's slightly different. If I'm looking at boxing, then my movement might be here, it might be here, but in this instance, look, boom, I'm looking to come slightly downwards. All right, so here, boom, and I'm looking to connect with these two front knuckles. Really important that I hit with those two front knuckles, not the bottom two. Okay, so once more, here, coming around, boom, connecting here, boom. All right, so that's a hook. Right, so number 10 in our list then is Judo. And what we're going to look at here is a basic hip throw. Now, there are a number of different variations on this, a number of different ways to set it up, okay? And we're going to look at a few of those, but we're also going to work from a platform where he's not wearing a judogi or a gi or the jacket that judo practitioners wear, okay? So we can throw with that, and that really helps with the leverage and the connection and getting power through the throw there, but we can't rely on that in the sense that they may not be wearing a clothing that's heavy enough and suitable enough to actually lift him off his feet with. So we're going to look at this by using an arm and a head grab here instead. All right. Now, so if we come around this way a moment, let's just show us what it is first. Now, again, what we've got here, just come around this way a bit. What we've got here is we've got a mat down for Steve. Reasons for that is twofold. Number one, Steve is a boxer, not a grappler or a judoka, and so his break falling isn't quite where it needs to be, and we don't want anybody injured. And secondly, if we've got to cut this and do it several times to get it right, obviously he's going to have the right hump being thrown continuously. So we're going to have the mat down. Don't feel bad about it. Okay, now from here, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect. So if we think about these grips here, these grips like this, if we were doing this traditionally, what I'm actually going to do is change that for a grip either here or here. All right, this gives me a better control here. Now, in this instance here, just come back this way just a second. That's it here. Now, in this instance here, my footwork is going to go 1, 2. So what I'm doing, look, is I'm bringing myself right round. So I'm literally facing, yeah, so he's behind me and we're both facing in the same direction. So here, look, 1, 2. Now, as I step into that 1, 2, my hand in this instance is going to go up around the back of his neck here. So if I'm connecting here, we're going to go 1, 2. From here, look, see my knees are bent. So if you think about like squatting, yeah, and then here, look, what I'm doing is pulling here and lifting him this way. So obviously he's going to get thrown over there. Now, some little variations, right? Now, in this instance, look, we've got the same connection here, but what I'm doing now is I'm coming in arm under here, boom. All right, now the same step through. The same 1, 2, but now look, see, what I've got is the connection here, look, see? All right. Okay, and then the third little version of this is I'm actually going to come around the waist here. So in this instance, again, if we just come this way just a fraction, there we are. So in this instance, look, what I'm doing is stepping, boom, coming around the waist all the way here. 1, 2, and again, look, connection in, up, and over. All right. So we'll show the throw. So what I'm going to do, look, is connect here, step through, drop down, bring him up and over here, see? Okay? Right, so we're going to try and put this now into more of a defensive action. So we're going to make it a little bit more self-defense, and we're going to come off a punch defense. Now, what's going to happen here is Steve's going to throw a hook, so I'll break it down for you. Steve's going to throw his hook. Now, boom, I'm coming up this way. So what I'm doing, look, is just throwing this arm up here. So as he comes here once more, boom, here. Now from here, look, I step and connect. So 1, 2. And then from here, we go for the throw. So if we do that again, please there, Steve. So connect here, 1, 2, boom, up and over. All right, so just making that a little bit more defensive and using that. It's a very effective one to do once you've got the hang of it, and it's pretty simple to find yourself in that position. So it's just a quick step and turn, and then make sure, bend your knees, bring the person over.